This is the final mini lesson for week 2 and it's sound techniques part 2. When we're looking at language, whether it's in a poem or a book, we'll see if we can find examples of rhyme, which is basically where the end sound in words are the same, like day and play and way. The A bit is the part that's repeated or is used again, and that makes the words rhyme. The technical definition is up here, the correspondence of sound between words or the endings of words, especially when used at the ends of lines of poetry. It notes here that different rhyme patterns create different effects. And we'll certainly see that when we look at some poems, but even in the novels that you're looking at, look for slogans or bits from songs or poems, or even just in regular speech, particularly when a character is trying to be really persuasive. Look for rhyme because it's there to draw attention to whatever's being said and to make it more memorable. So if you look at Hitler's speeches, he'll use some rhyme, certainly in German, of course. So watch out for that. Rhythm is another thing that we consider, and technically it's the arrangement of heavy and weak syllables in a line. The dum, da dum, da dum, da dum. And we'll see that a lot in poetry. It's also, you could think of it as the beat. What kind of rhythm is going on in the way people are speaking to each other, the backwards and forwards parts of the conversation. In novels, it's really important to have a look at the dialogue and cadence, which I'll talk about in a moment. First of all, let's get a couple of terms clear. When we're talking about people speaking to each other directly, it's called direct speech. It's usually contained in quotation marks or speech marks, where the characters are quoted directly. What has come out of their mouth is on the page. We have indirect speech, where the character's speech is reported by another character, not using speech marks, but often taking that form of such and such said that they're all too busy to come to school today. That kind of line. So watch out for those. When we're looking at dialogue, we're mostly looking at direct speech. So dialogue is when two or more people are talking to each other, a conversation, in other words. That's all fairly straightforward. Cadence is probably a fairly unfamiliar term to you though. It's the natural lilting rhythm in language, or the intonation in speech. The way people would say it, what kind of rhythm is behind it. Is someone speaking in short staccato sentences, chop, chop, chop? They're using short words and really short sentences, or just using bits of sentences. Their speech is going to come across as really quick, rushed, boom, 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 boom. That's the cadence of their speech. If they speak slowly with lots of describing words and lovely adjectives and beautiful imagery like trees on a mountain, they're going to have more poetic cadence, a slower rhythm or beat to the way that they speak. So look out for that. It's a good thing to be able to comment on the way characters speak and how they'd sound if they were being read out loud. The final thing that we look at is dialect and jargon. Dialects are basically variations in word choice, accent and the style of speaking determined by the different racial, ethnic, religious or other groupings that a person might come from. Often people from different areas will use different dialects of the same language. So someone in the north of Germany will speak slightly differently, use slightly different words and a different accent than somebody who lives in the southern part of Germany. Someone who lives in New South Wales may choose different words for common things than someone in South Australia. In literature, we look for words from the character's particular group. So if you're looking at the way Nazis are speaking, look out for words like Reichstag or Führer or Jawohl that are written with an accent or modified spelling or style which indicate that the speaker is from that particular group. So In World War II novels, we're looking out for the use of language words from German or from other foreign languages, perhaps some French or Italian or something like that. But also the way the writer might have written down an accent if they've had a go. Sometimes if they're trying to show a character is from a lower class type of a family or not so educated, they might write havin' or goin' rather than having and going. So look at the way the author has written the way characters speak. Jargon is often found in people's speech. It's basically the specialist language, the technical language that a particular trade or profession or group might use. So a motor mechanic is going to use words associated with mechanics and cars, and particular words that instantly, if someone's listening to them, will mark them as knowing a lot about that subject or coming from that group of people. Doctors have got their own set of jargon. People in most trades have terms that they'll use.